How are consumers using generative AI? This is a post from Andreessen Horowitz blog, the A16Z, created by Olivia Moore. So basically, the Andreessen Horowitz or A16Z are, as I see it, focused in the future. So we should take this in context. They're interested in startups, in what are the trends. So my perspective on this is checking out uh, by how they look at the current state of affairs, the current state of consumers using generative AI, and what are its projections for the future, so that when we want to invest in a startup, we can say, okay, it complies with this, it has this and this and this, we think it has better potential. So this is the context for this post, from my perspective, again. Okay, so it's been 9 months since ChatGPT was released and 7 months since it became the fastest consumer application to reach 100 million monthly active users, ushering in a new era of generative AI. But other than ChatGPT, how are consumers interacting with generative AI, Gen AI products? In which categories do incumbents dominate, and where are new companies breaking out? Who might be the next big winner? So this can have two ways to look at this. On one hand, we can look at the company, what are they doing, which products they create, and on the other hand, this can help us consumers by finding out which products are there. I mean, we want to enhance our efficiency, but to do that, we can look at this post and see which other products exist in this era. To begin to answer these questions, we looked at similar web traffic data. So they used similar web traffic data. From this, by the way, we can understand that when we want to compare products, etc., we can use similar web traffic data. As of June 2023, so this is pretty recent, to rank the top 50 Gen AI web products by monthly visits. We also analyzed how these products have grown over time and where growth is coming from. We relied on traffic versus app traffic to qualify on web traffic versus app traffic. App traffic is much harder to get because it can go directly to the internal in the application and directly to the service. To qualify companies for the list, as most consumer Gen AI products have been website first so far. More on this below. So it's not only that it's somewhat harder to get the statistics, it's also that the products were published its website first. This makes sense. It's much harder today to get your product out used by people by the explosion of applications that we have in the various Play stores. And also then you need to develop one app for iPhone, one app for Android, and you know. For companies that made the list that do have a mobile app, we added the traffic gathered from Sensor Tower. So you see, for the mobile app, they gathered the traffic from a different source as of June 2023 to determine their spot number. Thus, this ranking serves as a tool to identify and understand category trends and not as an exhaustive ranking of all consumer AI platforms. Here are the top 6 takeaways. So this is the list of web products ranked by the traffic. We see number 1 ChatGPT expected. We see Bard only at the 3rd place, and on 2nd place we have this character AI. Interesting. We have also Dispo here and many other applications. Quiltbot, you see, many of them I never heard of. So it's good to see this list and interesting to see exactly what is this character AI, what is this Quiltbot and others. Tornado, Pixelar, AI, Lexica, WriteSong, Chat PDF. Interesting. So many applications, right? And so Smodin's AI, Flicky, just an explosion of things. Luca, human or not, probably checks if the text that was generated is from a human or not, writer. Novel AI, and we have also Porn Pen AI. So also the porn industry is beginning to use the AI. Generative AI. Note this list was generated based on global desktop and mobile websites with data from SimilarWeb as of June 2023. However, for companies on the list that have a mobile app, we saw this. This list does not include app-only companies. So for companies that have only an app, they didn't include. Does not include activity happening within a Discord server. Yeah, because people can also develop some apps inside Discord server. Today it's okay, but who knows in the future what will happen with Discord servers when all the youth are using Discord. So here are the conclusions. One, most leading products are built from the ground up around generative AI. Like ChatGPT, the majority of products on this list didn't exist a year ago. 80% of these websites are new. This suggests that while many legacy companies are augmenting their products with AI, many of the most compelling consumer experiences are completely novel. On the 50 companies on the list, only 5 are products of or acquired by pre-existing. Amazing. So from the 50 companies, only 5 are products of acquisitions by or pre-existing big tech companies. BART from Google, Poe from Quora, Quiltbot Course Hero, Pixelar 123RF, and Clipchamp Microsoft. Only 5 out of the 50 came from big companies. Of the remaining list members, a whopping 48% are completely bootstrapped with no outside funding. This is crazy. 50% of all these top 50 products are completely bootstrapped with no outside funding, according to PitchBook data. This suggests that it's possible to get a large AI product off the ground quickly and with relatively little capital, though another 15% have raised upward of 50 million already. So number of companies and funding raised. So this is crazy. We see so many companies, 20 now percent of the companies with zero funding, 20% zero funding. Then we have something like 7%, less than a million, another 8%, 10 to 50, 5, a very small percentage, 50 to 100 million, and so we see that the vast majority with zero funding. One of the main differences between VC-backed and bootstrap companies, the tech stack. Depending on the model size, setting up and training your own model can cost millions of dollars. The top 50 list is an almost even three-way split between companies that 1. Train their own proprietary models. So we have companies that train their own proprietary model. 2. Fine-tune an existing model. And 3. Build a consumer AI on top of an existing model. Example, GPT wrappers. However, it's worth noting that of the top 10 products, half are built on their own model. So the top 10 do have their own model, I mean half of them, while 4 are fine-tuned. So 9 of 10 are using a fine-tuned model or built their own. Only 1 falls in the wrapper category. Okay. I'm okay with being on the top 50. Okay, excluding ChatGPT, which skews the data given OpenAI 11 billion raised, companies with a proprietary model have raised an average of 98 million. This compares to 20 million for companies that have fine-tuned an open source model and 9 million for wrappers. Yeah, so if you have a proprietary model, you need a lot of money to train this. Second observation. ChatGPT has a massive lead for now. ChatGPT represents 60% of monthly traffic to the entire top 50 list. We have a large queue toward ChatGPT now, today. But with so many new candidates coming, and we have 5 personally trained model in the top 5, there is a competition coming. They are coming. With an estimated 1.6 billion monthly visits and 200 million monthly users as of June 2023, this makes ChatGPT the 24th most visited website globally. So this is from all the web products and number of billions of monthly visits. So ChatGPT, we see here, have 1.5 billion monthly visits, right? Yeah, a little more, but then it goes down like exponentially, the traffic you see for the top 50. Then we again have this character AI, which I'm hearing here for the first time, interesting, and Bard, which I used a lot. But character AI, second place. No other product has seen quite the same ramp, though companion platforms Character AI has emerged as a solid second place with 21% of the scale of ChatGPT. It's already 1/5 of the scale of ChatGPT, on mobile in particular. Character AI is one of the strongest early players, with the use rivaling ChatGPT and significantly better retention, according to Sensor Tower data. Compared to mainstream consumer products, even the biggest Gen AI products are still fairly small. When combining web and mobile app traffic, ChatGPT ranks around the same scale as Reddit, LinkedIn, and Twitch, but still far below the giants WhatsApp, YouTube, and Facebook. So mainstream consumer product, here we have the global comparison of WhatsApp. We see 70 billion, like 70 billion. Then we have YouTube, a bit more than 60 billion. Then we have Facebook, also a lot, like 50 billion. Instagram, something like 35 billion. Messenger, X, Twitter, like 10 billion. Wikipedia, Yahoo. Only here we have ChatGPT. Yeah, 1.5 billion, 1.7 billion. 7 billion, something like this. So it still has, if it would really, I mean, I see why we see why WhatsApp and YouTube are used a lot. Right? We don't want to communicate with an AI all the time. Maybe as a backend to the WhatsApp to enhance the functionality, then all this AI would work, but as a standalone product, not really. 3. LLM assistants like ChatGPT are dominant, but companionship and creative tools are on the rise. So again, we said they are coming for you. General LLM chatbots represent 68% of the total consumer traffic to the top 50 list. Alongside ChatGPT, this category includes Google Bard and Quora's Pose, all ranked top 5 percentage of traffic by use case. Model Hub, context editing, mostly general assistant, but some companion. This is probably the character AI. However, 2 other categories have started to drive significant usage in recent months. AI companies such as Character AI and content generation tools such as Midjourney and 11 Labs. Within the broader content generation category, image generation is the top use case with 41% of traffic, followed by prosumer writing tools at 26% and video generation 8%. So we have also some image generation, a lot of image generation, writing tools 26% and video generation tools. Growth category including general assistance. So we see here spike in, what is this? The color is very similar. Looks like a companion. So we need to see what is this character eye which spikes in this way. Content generation, this yellow model hub. Another category worth mentioning, model hubs. There are only two on the list, but they drive significant traffic. CVRT for images and Hugging Face. Both rank in the top 10. This is especially impressive because consumers are typically visiting these sites to download models to run locally. So web traffic is likely an underestimate of the actual usage. So we have some websites like Hugging Face and CVRT, top 10, and you download models from them. So this means that only the download of the model puts them on the top 10. 4. Early winners have emerged, but most products categories are up for grabs. Good news for builders. As we said, this blog is, as I say, it focused around startup PC, so good news for builders. Despite the surge in interest in generative AI, in many categories there is not yet a runway success. The below graph shows the differential in traffic between the first and second players in its space. While there are some exceptions, example companionship, for most categories there is less than 2x gap, meaning that the top company receives just double or less the number of visits as its next closest competitor. This is nowhere near insurmountable given companies on the list averaged 50% monthly growth over the past 6 months. Traffic differential by category, first versus second products. So we have here the companion going 50x, chat going 10x, etc. We are also starting to see significant fragmentation. Products that are purpose-built for specific use cases, our workflows are growing alongside more generalist tools and showing signs that they can also become successful companies. One example is image generation. While Midjourney dominates the broader space, companies like Leonardo, specific to gaming assets, are also seeing impressive growth in traffic. The graph below shows the ramp in Midjourney Discord server members as compared to Leonardo's monthly unique visitors. While not at the same scale, Leonardo has been able to pick up millions of users alongside Midjourney continued ascent. So Leonardo monthly unique users is growing drastically, also Midjourney. But we see that Leonardo started here to go while Midjourney started on July 20th, so it has 6 months to catch, which is dramatic in our age. 5. Acquisition for top products is entirely organic, and consumers are willing to pay. This is a heaven for startups, the area that we are now today, or for individuals that are creating projects, just heaven for them. For the past 5 years, many consumer apps have been caught in an acquisition game. with no platform shift internet mobile. It's been difficult to drive excitement for new products. Cost of acquisition has also been rising, meaning that most consumer companies have had to worry about metrics like lifetime value and consumer acquisition cost. Gen AI has changed the game. The majority of companies on this list have no paid marketing, at least that SimilarWeb is able to attribute. There is significant free traffic available via X, Reddit, Discord, and email, as well as word of mouth and referral growth. The bottom quartile of these Gen AI products saw just 2% of their traffic coming from paid sources. This compares to 70% of paid sources for the bottom quartile of non-AI. Because of, I'm not sure, I don't know if this will stay, but because of all the hype in AI, either it's really helping people or it's really hyped. I guess it's a combination of both. But non-paid acquisition here, paid acquisition, it's here 2%. 98% is non-paid acquisition for Gen AI, while 70% for non-AI is paid. I guess it would somewhat consolidate, but it might still be the same if it's that helpful. Non-AI concerns, subscription companies, per A16Z is benchmarking. What we see here, it's about organic acquisition, organic meaning non-paid, so we see that for Gen AI we are really at the top, while for non-Gen AI somewhere in the middle. And consumers are willing to pay for Gen AI. 90% of companies on the list are already monetizing. Nearly all of them via a subscription model. Heaven for startups. The average product on the list makes $21 a month, maybe per user, for users on monthly plans, yielding $252 probably per user annually. If you've subscribed to any popular consumer subscription products pre-AI, example Calm, Headspace, Duolingo, you know they most likely charge less than 70% per year for annual subscription. So these Gen AIs charge more, they say, with an average of $10 per month for monthly subscribers. Generative AI unlocks a new level of value. Yeah, probably because it's bringing more value, which increases consumer willingness to pay. 6. Mobile apps are still emerging as a Gen AI platform. Consumer AI products have thus far been largely browser-first. Rather than app-first, even ChatGPT took 6 months to launch a mobile app. There have been notable exceptions in the image generation category. The barrier to launch an app is fairly low. Thanks to third-party APIs, products like Lensa and Wombo saw steep ascents and equally steep declines. Why aren't more AI companies building on mobile? The browser is a natural starting place to reach the broadest base of consumers. Many AI companies have small teams and likely don't want to fragment their focus and resources across web, iOS, and Android. As a result, only 15 companies on the list currently have a live mobile app, and almost all of them see less than 10% of total monthly traffic come from their app versus the web. So, percentage of traffic from app by product. So we see for photo room large percentage for app, character AI also pretty large, but then it declines drastically. ChatGPT, you see percentage of traffic coming from app is really low. There are 3 notable exceptions. Prosumer Design Studio. Prosumer, I guess it's not a typo. Maybe they mean here like a consumer, but a pro consumer, maybe a consumer that is paying or something. Design Studio Photo Room estimated 88% of traffic on app, companion app character AI. We need to check out what is this character AI. 46% of traffic on app, and text-to-speech product Speechify 20% of traffic on app. These companies are seeing outsized engagement measured as sessions per visitor per month on their mobile apps compared to their website. So we see that for character AI, web is even less than app, and Speechify also, and you and Photo. Given that the average consumer now spends 36 minutes more per day on mobile than desktop, 4.1 hours versus 3.5 hours, we expect to see more mobile first Gen AI products emerge as the technology matures. If you're building something in generative AI, reach out. We'd love to hear from you. You can find me on Twitter. Okay, so this was a very good post on generative AI and the state of the applications. We saw many interesting facts. So that many programs, many applications were built from the ground up, zero funding. We saw that ChatGPT has a massive leap, but for now, because there are many competitors coming, we saw that assistants are dominant, but other tools such as photo, speech are rising. We saw that although there are products, there are still a lot of categories up for grabs. We saw that much of the traffic is coming and much of the payment is coming from organic acquisition. And we saw that generative AI and some mobile apps, some applications that are more app oriented, like when you want to edit a photo, you'll probably do this via an app. So it makes sense that this photo app is going to applications. So this was the post. How are consumers using generative AI by Olivia Moore from A16Z.